Please welcome to the show, Eric McCormack! Welcome. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you on your set, rather than a hockey rink or in the bottom of a well or something.
I gotta tell you, I was really impressed, man, because when we lost the power in the building that day, we were like, oh, God, do you think Eric will come to the hockey rink? And they're like, of course he will.
We had fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Welcome back. Congrats on your show.
Thank you very much.
I mean, post Will and Grace, you had a couple of things, and then you get a season out of them. But to get that second season is pretty special.
Yeah, and it's a character I love. This is Perception on TNT in the States and Bravo Canada here, and I love being this guy. I love being this guy, and it's such a 180 from what I was doing before.
You know that when you're going to play a role like this, it carries a certain weight to it. You have to reflect this responsibly, don't you?
I like, 15, 13 years ago, it was, well, I have to carry the weight of the gay community on a sitcom.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. And so, it's like, now it's like gay schmay. I have to carry the entire mental illness community on my shoulders while I solve crimes.
But that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. So when you get into a role like that, do you then crave a role like that, a role that has some weight culturally?
Yeah, absolutely, I think. I mean, it was not completely intentional, but I do like when a show, whether it be a comedy or a drama, has something else to talk about. Not just last week's episode was, so I didn't see that coming. I didn't think it would be her. It's like there's a bigger subject matter that we can affect, possibly.
What was Stratford like for you?
Stratford was fantastic. I learned most of what I know there in some form or other.
Are you an anxious guy?
Do I seem it?
No. In that moment, yes. How long did it take you to get your footing in television then?
Well, that was '89, so I guess it was Will and Grace was 9 years later. Yeah. But probably 3 years later, I was in Vancouver doing a series that no one remembers. I was Carl Weathers' partner in a cop show called Street Justice.
Oh, I remember.
I remember. I didn't bring an extreme level of machismo to it. I decided my character wasn't great at carrying a gun, for instance. I thought that'd be a quirky, fun thing for a cop to do. And I dropped my gun in one scene, and Carl, who always wore cut-off leather gloves, took me aside after the first take. Said, "What are you doing, man?" I said, "I thought, well, I'm new to the force. Maybe I'm not so good." He said, "That's ridiculous. A cop will never drop his gun. We'll never do that again."
People are really excited to have you on the show because you met so many different people. I have a question. I want to play your question here.
Hey, Eric, it's Rick. If you could go back into the past and talk to yourself when you were a young actor, like when I was teaching you, what advice would you give yourself, or maybe other young actors who are just starting out today?
That's Rick Hughes.
Oh my God, that was Rick Hughes. That was my ninth grade English teacher, and then he directed me in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum in grade 13. Mm-hmm. Wow. That was very... hi, Rick. What advice would I give myself?
Why don't you say hi to Rick? He's right there.
Get out of here. Can I go hug him?
Hey, Eric. Good to see you, man. Oh,
how great. Oh, it's so exciting. Rick was extremely influential on me. I remember years later, I think I just turned 18. Maybe I shouldn't tell a story, but we met downtown, and we were friends now because we were like he was treating me like treated me like a grown-up. Yeah. And I remember him saying, "The drink of the day is vodka and tonic. What are you having?" And I said, "I have a vodka." It was just we had a grown-up relationship that really helped launch me, I think, into...
You were 18, so he had the drink
in
Alberta.
19.
He had it in Alberta and Quebec.
I'm not good with numbers. I was
Suddenly Rick's
19
going to be...
and 6 days, as I recall. But no, if I could give myself advice back then, I would say, cut your hair, for God's sake, and stop drinking so much beer. Because I swear, I feel like through my 20s, I lived a theater life, and you don't think about how you look. And you find I remember getting into television and kind of looking around at this sort of Melrose Place world that I was in LA, going, how come I don't get hired? And it just took a while to kind of...
Because everybody was super fit and kind of healthy?
It's a whole weird thing, yeah. But I understand it in retrospect.
Yeah, but listen, cry me a river, bro. You're going to turn 50 years old soon, and you don't look 50. The question I had for you is, in which attic, in which city is your painting aging? Like,
it's, when I started to make Will and Grace money, I cloned myself.
Nice.
Yes.
What does turning 50 mean to you? Does it mean something?
It means a day of tears and drinking, probably, pretty much. I don't know. It's bizarre because, particularly in this business, you define yourself by what can I play, who am I, you know. And I mean, 20 years ago now, it's hard to believe, I played my first dad. I played a dad to the Olsen twins in a movie called Double Double Toil and Trouble. Mm-hmm. Look it up. It's really, really good. So it's weird to now go, now I have to play dads. Yeah. There's no way around it.
What do you make of the Olsen twins' career?
Okay, I saw a picture today. Have you seen this in the People magazine this week? There's like her with her boyfriend.
I unfortunately let my subscription to People run out, but...
Well, I don't generally buy it, but you asked. No, you didn't, but you brought it up. I mean, it's the sexiest male issue, and I made it into one of the last pages. I can't believe it, because it's like as a guy turning 50, and I was like, oh, you don't have to bring that up.
You're a qualified sexy man now.
There's a picture early on of one of the Olsen girls with her boyfriend, and he's easily 50. He might be 55. And it's so they're at a basketball game, and he's leaning over and kissing her, and she has a look on her face like, holy my boyfriend's 55. I mean, look it up. It's the creepiest shot I've ever seen in People magazine.
But I bet you he wasn't the only 55-year-old kissing a girl in her 20s.
No, exactly right. I mean, I'm more power to him, but honestly, she does not look happy. She looks like she just woke up and said, how did this happen?
What was your dad like in his 50s?
I'm gonna have to do the math. You know, when my dad was in his 50s, he was an executive at Shell Oil here in Toronto, and it was around that time that I discovered that he had been an actor in his late teens, early 20s.
But he didn't tell you. You found out old school, right?
And he actually even went to Ryerson, and I found out in Ryerson. I mean, I said, Dad, I'm going to Ryerson, and he never told me till sort of second year. So I think in his 50s, he was 30. So yeah, he was a guy watching me at that point do the thing that he was probably trying to do at
How did you find out?
I was looking around in the attic for something, an old picture of my mother or something, and I found this scrapbook dedicated to my father's days as an actor at Ryerson. All these pictures of Antigone and things like that. And he'd simply never mentioned it. I mean, you know, he came to see the funny thing happen on the way to the Forum that Rick directed, and you know, he'd say, oh, that was funny, it was a good show. But he would never say, like when I was an actor. Nothing. It was a total surprise to me. So I can only imagine that in order to get on with life in that post-war way, he had to tamp it down, get a job, and be happy.
When you raised it with him, what did he say?
I raised it with him, and he kind of downplayed it and said, well, I wasn't as serious as you are. And we were at the Eaton Center, and we were having lunch, and we started to go. I said, Dad, you want to go get an ice cream or something? And he turned around as the lunchtime at the Eaton Center was very, very busy, and he was crying. And he said, I'm very proud of you. And he gave me a hug and walked away back to Shell, and we kind of never spoke of it again. It was just kind of like, you go do what didn't seem practical in 1952.
So good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in.
It's great to see you.
I appreciate that.
As always, very good time.